Paula, it is nearly 6 months since our last interview on NearFM, leading us up to talking about your fundraising campaign that you are doing this month. Can you give our listeners a bit of a summary, please, of how things are going with the Alcohol Forum in general at the moment and over the last 6 months since our last interview?
Absolutely, yeah. I suppose over the last 6 months, in terms of just what's happening with alcohol at a national level, it's a mixed bag with some good things and some worrying things. So over the last 6 months, we have been working to support a new coalition for better alcohol policy that has over 70 organisations or members of that coalition. And that coalition has been lobbying, had an Oireachtas briefing, has written briefing documents to just really raise awareness and talk to government and talk to the Department of Health in particular and let them know that it's vitally important that alcohol remains part of the new National Drug Strategy, which government are due to launch early next year. We really want to see that happening. There has been great progress. We have seen projects supported throughout the country. We have had our Building Safer Communities project funded. We presented on that project to the British Irish Council drug sector meeting yesterday. So there's really good things happening, but we just want to ensure that government keeps the focus on alcohol, that it maintains the inclusion of alcohol within the new National Drug Strategy, and that it's a priority.
Are you in I know Alcohol Action Ireland are involved in this area, but are you involved in the area of the whole sale of alcohol bill, are you?
Of course, yeah. The sale of alcohol bill is something that, we have been campaigning on over numbers of years, really, and had a number of reports published by global experts and based on Irish research also by, leading lights in the global alcohol policy community. For example, Professor Tom Baber had looked at the sale of alcohol bill and had written a report for us, and that report concluded that, if the bill was to be implemented in the way that it's currently written by government, that this would have a very worrying and damaging impact on public health, on, violence in the nighttime economy, that it would increase levels of alcohol consumption, and that over time it would inevitably increase alcohol harm within the Irish population. So, we have had those reports published, we've had numbers of events, we have widely disseminated them to all Oireachtas members. We've had briefings. So, there are lots of people concerned about the sale of alcohol bill. I think it's important that we maintain that focus and that we keep engaged in that conversation.
Okay, we haven't got time today to go through those two issues in depth about the National Drug Strategy and the sale of alcohol bill, although we have discussed it before. I know I've done a couple of interviews with Alcohol Action Ireland over the last few months on the forum anyway, and I have covered the sale of alcohol bill as well. We'll move on to the main reason I got in touch with you for this interview today, Paula. You have a brilliant fundraising campaign that you yourself are doing, but it's for the Alcohol Forum, and you're doing it up in Donegal. Can you tell our listeners more about this, Paula?
Well, I am taking on what we have called Brain Freeze, and that will involve me taking to cold waters, mostly the sea, but also a couple of lakes over the month of December. So I'm swimming every day for 32 days from the 1st of December to the 1st of January. And the swims actually will take place in Cavan, Sligo, Mayo and Donegal. So we are covering quite an area, and partly the reason for that is there's been a real sense of excitement around this. I've had invitations to different places. I've had swimming groups who have been absolutely fabulous and welcoming, saying, could you come over here to West Donegal one of the days and we'll have a swim and a cup of tea and a sauna. Up to Lake Sillen, to Dr. Sabina Brennan on the 15th of December, who is a neuroscientist and a psychologist, and is just very interested in this theme. Her work has been looking at the really negative impact that alcohol has on the brain throughout our life course, throughout childhood, adolescence, and into, our elder years. And she was just really interested in helping me to raise awareness about the condition. So it's a condition that we have a lot of stigma about, we have a lot of silence about, we don't talk about it, there's no national strategy, it's not included in the National Drug Strategy, it's not included in any health strategies, it's not in the National Neuro-Rehabilitation Strategy. So, the first thing that you need to do to change anything is to create awareness and to create a level of interest and passion that things need to change. And this, while it's a fundraiser, it's also about having conversations, raising awareness, and talking about it. So I'm delighted to be talking to yourself today about it and just spreading the message. Because really, if we ask ourselves, why does it matter? It matters because, roughly 9% of all people under 65 years of age in nursing homes in Ireland have an alcohol-related brain injury. So their people, if they had got timely and early intervention, could have made a full recovery or significant recovery. 75% of people with an alcohol-related brain injury, if they get timely and proper support, they can, go on a road to recovery. And we're not offering that chance to recovery to people across the island of Ireland at the moment.
Even years ago, when I was in my physical prime, I don't think I would have been able to do the same kind of thing that is jumping into freezing water. But I'd say to some extent you get a bit acclimatized with the water, do you, Paula? Do you?
Well, I have swam through a number of winters, but, maybe twice a week. And at the moment, I'm only getting in about twice or three times a week. Just work is really busy, life is really busy. And apparently the 2 to 3 times I've been in a week will stand to me. You do build up your cold water fitness. You do become acclimatized. But, at the same time, this is not a fundraiser where I'm asking all and everyone to jump in the ocean with me, because there are risks. And I will be getting in every single day, bar sort of orange or red weather warnings. And if those happen, I'm just going to extend it out and add on days at the end. The commitment is for 32 swims in 32 days. And I really intend to stick to that, all going well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a couple of questions there about your campaign, your fundraising campaign, but you've already kind of covered them. Yourselves in the Alcohol Forum believe that there should be a national treatment centre for alcohol-related brain injury, don't you, Paula?
Alcohol Forum Ireland has believed for quite some time that we definitely need a dedicated residential unit that has cognitive rehabilitation, that has neuro-rehabilitation, occupational therapy, that really is bespoke, that responds to the needs and provides the types of supports and services that people require to recover. For the last 15 years, we have had the privilege in Donegal, in the Donegal part of our work, while we work nationally, the alcohol-related brain injury piece is only there, but Donegal Mental Health Services have supported that, and that has allowed us to employ a dedicated person to support people with the presumptive diagnosis of alcohol-related brain injury and their families. And in that time, we have seen people make remarkable recoveries, make full recoveries, people who had issues with their mobility, with their cognition, with their memory, with their speech. And with the support of our service, they have completely recovered from that, managed to maintain sobriety, looking at relapse prevention, all those things. So it's not impossible. It's not a hopeless condition. And actually, in neurological terms, lots of neurological disorders are very progressive. But with alcohol-related brain injury, once you stop drinking, the brain has a chance of recovering. So, it's a hopeful condition as well, and I really want to spread that message.
Yeah, so, you've already kind of said this, but your fundraising campaign, as well as actually raising money, am I right in saying it's just as much about kind of raising awareness of the issue, is it?
Absolutely. It's about storytelling. It's about sharing hope. It's about raising awareness. I've been contacted by a number of people who have recovered from brain injuries, who want to support it, who are actually getting in to swim with me on different days, which is really exciting. And, you know, I have been quite moved by sort of the interest and support from people, and from people who've had family members or have family members that are living in nursing homes, and don't have the types of support that they would need to recover.
Okay, it was great talking to you again today on Near FM. Paula, but before you go, can you tell our listeners if you have got any media coverage of your fundraising campaign, that is, along with Near FM, and can you tell them how they can donate to your campaign?
Well, you're first out of the track, so we haven't done sort of a media campaign yet. That will be to follow. As part of the campaign, I will be sharing a video every day just to A, prove that I've done it, but B, to sort of raise awareness and share stories and have a bit of crack and interaction with people, and build up a following around, you know, the alcohol-related brain injury journey that Brain Freeze will be. But if people want to donate to the campaign, we have a fundraising page on iDonate that's just Brain Freeze, Paula Leonard's Sip a Day for alcohol-related brain injury. And I have to say, every single penny is so important to us, because while we have funding from Donegal Mental Health Services through the HSE, which is fabulous, there's so much more that we could do in terms of physical therapy, occupational therapy, if we had more resources for that work with clients. So, you know, people can be reassured that every penny they donate is going to a really good cause, and we're so grateful for it.